Hi, I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. We are at Matt and Hannah's house in New Hampshire, and we are going to be looking at their hive here, which is the first time we've been videoing it. And Hannah are also members of Beekeeping 24/7, and we're going to have a look around. We're getting a special private tuition from the Bee Whisperer. So if you have it a little in there, as Matt's my son and Hannah's my daughter-in-law, so there we go. I'll let Matt be the camera guy. Okay. So Hannah.
Yes.
You want to lead the way?
All right.
I'll get zipped up here.
Oh, I didn't bring a smoker.
So tell us what you've had happen so far before you smoke them. We'll have a quick look at their activity as well. Tell us what's been happening with the hive this year.
So this year I started off with just one brood box over the winter.
Single deep.
Yep. And then when the spring started happening, they started building up very, very quickly. So I put a second brood box on. And when they started building into that, I put honey super on. I haven't put my queen excluder on because when I checked a couple days ago, they hadn't built into the honey super, so I didn't want them swarmed. But once they start doing that, I'll put my honey super or my queen excluder on between the honey super and the brood boxes. And they seem to be very happy.
Yeah, you've done a mite treatment already as well,
yes,
just to be on the safe side.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we've got some good activity here. I noticed on the drive down we've got lots of black locust in bloom, and the clover, I noticed yesterday they're on the white clover as well. So you're a couple of weeks ahead of us, maybe 10 days ahead of us, and that's a very promising sign. As soon as the population's big enough, you'll start filling up that honey super. So let's fire away.
All right.
I tend to smoke them a little bit more heavily from the front.
From the front.
And actually stick the smoker more in the entrance, so you're sure you're getting it right in there. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's enough to get them really going. I'll put that over here if we need it.
Perfect.
Tell me if you want more smoke.
All right.
I like to work from the back, the side of the hive rather than the front. That way you're lifting things straight, you're not twisting.
Okay.
Perfect. Not up here yet. I like crisscrossing it.
But like
that way you don't squish anything. So just always, if you do it sort of like that, perfect. So then you're only touching the edges that way, and nothing's getting squished underneath.
Nice.
This is looking great. You can see right from the top we've got honey being stored here. They're not quite working on this frame here, and they're just getting going on the inside of this frame here. So we'll do some manipulation with things here just to get that brood chamber fully built. But go ahead.
Okay.
That's great. It's always good to work from the outside where you've got the clear space there.
Yeah, so very
Plenty
little.
of wax on there still. It's great.
Perfect. And I just
what I typically would do is just put it like this.
Okay.
And I just lean it against one corner or something like that, especially when there's next to nothing on it.
Perfect. Right.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I tend to just move that one to there. Now we're getting onto the areas where they've built. So all this is new in the last few weeks.
Yes.
Nice. Very nice. Full of honey. So we tend to not see the queen on frames that are full of honey, although you can see them, but it's relatively unlikely. And the other side is just a little bit being drawn out here. So we're going to end up with that one on the outside edge eventually when we close up. They're building nice straight combs, good to see. And again, full honey. Starting to cap it up here. They're getting plenty of resources in. Let's see, let's turn it so the light comes a bit more this way. Right, if I can.
Oh yeah. Want me to look up?
Yeah, I got it for a second. In fact, we've got eggs here. You see the eggs in the middle there?
Mm-hmm.
It's possible the queen will be on this side. A quick look. Now, is this one of last year's Saskatraz queens, I think?
I know I got
Italian?
I know I got a new queen in the fall.
You got a new queen in the fall, right? Okay. Okay. Yep, so we've got brood there, so that's good. So we know our queen's present. You can see those eggs. It's always a bit of a giveaway as well when you see this sort of circle. This little bees are busy on the honey here, but there's no honey here, so they've vacated that area, which is almost always where the queen is laying.
I see.
Carry on. Let's see some more advanced brood probably in the next one. You lean it against that one, where that
I see.
flies. Lots of honey. Lots of honey.
Nice. Ready to flip?
Yeah. And again, honey on one side, brood on the other.
Oh yeah. I have to admit, I'm not very adept at finding the queen.
Well, as the hive gets bigger and bigger, it gets harder and
Yeah.
harder.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of comb to trim off this one, I think, or the next one.
What did
Well, let me see, I'll show you how to do
Yeah.
this.
Oops, sorry.
That's okay. No, you put it there. You see this little hook here?
Yeah.
Just put it in here
Mm-hmm.
and push down, and it will lift it up.
Oh, that's much easier than what I've been doing for the last year.
Ah, look at all that cap brood. That is beautiful. So the queen started here, so this is all emerging, and they're actually backfilling with honey here. It's coming in so fast. The nectar's coming in so fast. See the shiny stuff? But all of this is emerging. If we look carefully, we might even see one or two baby bees emerging from these edges here. And then there's younger and younger and younger right out to young, tiny, very young larvae on the outer edges here. Let's see what's on the other side.
Yeah.
But again, full of brood, but they're definitely backfilling with honey here. So there's a strong honey flow coming on now, which is what I'd expect. Very good.
All right.
It's good.
Am I
and healthy.
passing the test?
And it's really and the queen's doing a really good laying pattern there as well, so it's not missing many cells.
We'll say it's easier being a beginner beekeeper when your father-in-law is an expert beekeeper. Oh, it's heavy.
Lots of honey.
Oh.
Filled with honey on this side. A little bit of drone brood down here. See how it sticks out much further. Oh,
Sorry. I was like, woo! Oh, did I just rip off a huge chunk?
No, that's okay, because look on the other side what's going to happen. I said they're building it nice and straight. They don't always build it straight. They'll always build some little bridges.
Okay.
So it's quite useful just to take the opportunity. If you keep holding, I'll just take this and I'll just trim that off. Because it makes it easier. If you trim it off while it's relatively small, it's easy to get off.
Okay.
Whereas if you wait until next time, it's 3 times the size. Just make sure we haven't taken the queen off. I'll put that to one side just for now. We're going to find more on the other side.
Okay.
A good load of cat brood again. It's funny how they're doing honey on one side, brood on the other, honey on one side, brood on the other. I've not seen that very often. You see how there's comb down here? We just try to avoid pushing it down on that.
Okay.
Keep it to that side and we'll lift it up and trim the next frame.
Okay.
So Matt, if you stand a bit further this way,
It's like,
because they're all landing on your leg. If you look at your leg, you're going to freak out.
I know.
Matthew has never been really good with bees. So Matthew is, not that he's not good with bees, he's just he doesn't really like bees.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Thank you. Yeah, that's not too bad. Look at that.
Okay, so this side, full of brood, young brood. This is the sort of place I'd expect to find the queen. See how lots of open cells. She's got lots of space to lay. She might be full of older larvae. I can see lots of 3, 4, 5-day-olds in there. This is the sort of place that you'd look a little bit longer for the queen. When you got the new queen, did they replace the queen by themselves, or did you put in a new queen?
They replaced her.
Right. Okay. So she'll not be marked. And have you seen her since then? You don't know whether she's a dark queen or a light color?
She was darker.
Yeah, I always struggle finding the dark ones.
I
This
found
is the side that we're going to need to want to trim a little bit. I've seen plenty of eggs around here.
Should I put it down to trim it?
The best way to deal with it for trimming is just hold it here and shake the bees into that spot. And that way, hold it lower down.
Okay.
That way you don't accidentally toss her on the ground. But funny thing happened with me keeping bees this week. I almost never have found the queen anywhere other than on the comb or inside the hive. And in 2 hives out of 3, we found the queen on my leg. So she can be dropped off the frame quite easily. Okay, so now you've got most of the bees off there. What I do is put one corner, say, on the frames here, and turn it round so you can get at it with your right hand. Hive tool. Turn it towards the camera here.
Sorry.
And then you'll just sort of trim it off down there a little bit. Try not to get that bee. Go around that bee. And just put it right out of the comb there. And then you can lift it up. It's going to lift off. And just sort of trim it out. A bit of surgery. Just use the blade. Just push the blade right through. That's the way.
Nice.
And they'll come back and we can eat some of this. You haven't had any of your own honey yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So what I would just do here is, if we keep hold of that, there's no bees here to worry about, so I'm just going to go right down. I'm going to trim it.
Oops, sorry.
Hold it.
Not doing it good. I'm holding.
Get that off there. Some of the wax falls down there, that's okay. Now they will probably build that back much better next time.
Okay.
No, they may still make it a bit funny, but keep trimming it each time you go in there, and they're almost certainly going to get it right within 2 or 3 attempts.
Perfect.
And this way it's much easier to lift it in and out. And I'll just make some room for you to put that back.
Oh.
And now we're going to go into the edge of the brood chamber, which is almost certainly going to be lots of honey in that last one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to call checkerboarding the frames. You missed.
I did.
Okay, so they're building, all those bees are drawing out the comb here, and they're building a bit more brood coming on here. Quick look for the queen. Can you tip it towards me? I want to see if there's eggs down there. I don't see eggs down there.
Don't miss it.
Yeah, sure.
Good.
And we can trim that little bit off as well.
Perfect.
What I'll do is just put it back up here. We'll just trim that little bit of comb off.
Oh, don't shake the bees.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay.
You can probably manage it without.
Okay. Oh, maybe this looks so easy.
There you go. You got it. Perfect.
Nice.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, sure. Let's put that back.
Okay.
So, what we have around the outer edge here, so I'll just pull this thing out as well. They're starting to build the comb here, but we'll put that on the outside edge. Now that they've built that comb almost completely.
Put this up here.
Yep.
Okay.
Now the hive is definitely strong enough. The bottom brood chamber is completely built. You can see down there. It was built last year. So what we're going to do is this frame, and this frame still need to be built out. So what we're going to do is just move that to there. We'll put this one back. Now you can push this one in a bit more. So this is going to be called checkerboarding it. And push it in there.
Okay.
So we'll take this one out.
Okay.
That side edge one. And this way they're going to get this stuff drawn out within a few more days, probably. So you can put that one there.
Okay.
You know this one is mostly built. So this is going to go on the outside edge here.
Okay.
And we'll push this one in a bit further. And we'll push these that way now. And we'll put your last one in there.
Nice.
And when you go in there in about a week's time, you're going to find that those frames are just about completely built.
Beautiful.
And when they've built these a little bit more, just a little bit more, then they'll start moving into that brood chamber.
Perfect.
Now this looks a little tipped, so what we can do, what I always do, when you're done, just move this frame away from the edge more. And then, so you do it nice and tight one way.
Mm-hmm.
That way all these tops are squished together.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take it from this side and kick them out a little bit. Now the frames are evenly spaced. Any gaps are here and here. And they tend to build the comb a little bit better that way.
Okay.
So having said that, I can still see a gap here, so I'm trying to squeeze it a little bit more. Okay. So, we've seen what we need to see. We didn't need to see the queen. We know the eggs are there. And there's no signs of queen cells, so we know there's no risk of swarming right now. Because if they were thinking of swarming, there'd almost always be queen cells at the bottom of this super,
Okay.
as well as down here. But we don't need to see them down here because we didn't see any signs of it up here.
I did have a question about swarming.
Mm-hmm.
So, if a swarm does happen, will bees stay in this spot?
Absolutely, yeah. What happens when a hive swarms is it's splitting in two.
Okay.
So they start preparing to split in two by preparing to grow new queens. And so they'll make 10, 15 queen cells, which will look like peanuts hanging from the bottom of frames of brood up here. There may be some scattered around the rest of the hive as well, but they'll all be mostly in the middle of the brood chamber. And what happens is just as those queen cells are almost ready to emerge, the old queen around and about half of the live worker bees are going to fly up and they'll go and land in the tree somewhere and start looking for a new home. In the meantime, that leaves the other half of the bees in here, all the brood and new queens just about to emerge. So once those new queens emerge, they fight it out and they kill each other until there's only one left.
And the new queen
And she
stays.
becomes the new queen
I
of the
see.
hive.
The old queen goes.
The old queen's in the tree hanging out with all her daughters waiting to find a new home, and they'll be checking out your lawn here and the soffits and hollow trees around the area until ultimately they decide, yeah, this is the place we're going to go. Then that swarm will move in to build a permanent location. So it's a common misconception, people thinking if bees swarm, they all leave.
Yeah.
It only takes about half. Sometimes they do it twice. There's enough bees left behind that they'll do it more than once. Hopefully we don't have that happen for you. Doesn't look like it will. In the meantime, put them back. I think you're going to have honey going on in here very shortly. I would say 2 weeks and they'll be building in here, maybe only 1 week. So careful with that. We can eat that when you go in the house. That's only a good honey. Do you have enough sugar?
I do.
There should be a box with a little hole in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's inside.
The hole is in here, is it?
Yeah, it's just on the floor in there.
Off yesterday. So do you want me to get it?
I got it.
We're getting stairs this summer. I'm sorry. Some for you.
This way, especially in the heat, this helps them ventilate as well.
Nice.
So I usually put it this way up. If you put it this way up, what tends to happen is they'll build lots of bits of comb in there. If you do it this way up, there isn't enough space for them to do it. So now they've got some ventilation at the top. And they're good to go.
Woo. Nice.
So, there we are.
Alright.
1 second before that. So there we are, Matt and Hannah's beehive in New Hampshire. I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. See you next time.
Woo.